Welcome back to Community Spotlight. The Humane Society of the United States estimates that 6 to 8 million dogs and cats enter animal shelters each year, but only half of them find homes. Cat Guardians, a small shelter in Lombard, is doing its part to find homes for animals in need.
It may look like your everyday suburban bungalow from the outside, but on the inside, it's a stray sanctuary. Cat Guardians, started by Kathy Blackwell, has been rescuing strays and giving them loving homes since 1988. Whitney Worley, who will be starting her sophomore year in college in the fall, has been volunteering her time with the cats for nearly 12 years and agreed to tell us more about Cat Guardians.
Cat Guardians was started by Kathy Blackwell, who is a big cat lover, and she started the shelter in 1988, so it's been going strong for 22 years. Cat Guardians is a nonprofit organization, and we get all of our money through donations. All the volunteers come in on their own time. We're all donating our own time, and other people in the community donate their money and help us run the shelter. The limit of the cats that we can have, we're allowed only 50 by Illinois, so that's the amount that we can keep. We always have volunteers that come in twice a day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon or evening, and they change all of the food bowls, all of the water bowls. They clean the linens, do the laundry, which we have a lot of because cats shed. We clean the litter boxes, and we just check. We go around. We have volunteers that are more medically inclined who check regularly to make sure that cats don't need to go in for checkups and things like that. And we also have off-site volunteers who will take care of cats that need more attention or litters of kittens that can't run around in the shelter. All of our cats, once they come in, before they ever get adopted, have to be spayed or neutered. It's the law. That's what we do. We don't want more kittens to come out of this because that's the issue. That's why we have so many cats, because people don't get their animals spayed or neutered. Anybody can come in, walk in. We are open Tuesdays from 4 to 8 and Saturdays and Sundays from 11 to 3. If they're interested in adopting, they can fill out an application. They can also go online and fill out an application at catguardians.org. And they fill out an application, walk around, get to know the cats. We have to approve the application, of course, before we take it any further. And then we meet the whole family, make sure that everybody really wants to be a part of the cat's life because they'll have this cat for about 20 years. And we try to make a good match with the cat and the owner, and then they'll take them home. The adoption fee is $120. Before we let them go home, they all have to be inoculated. They're all spayed and neutered. And they're microchipped as well. So everybody that gets a cat from us comes away with about $300 and $400 worth of savings from all the medical bills that we've paid prior to the adoption. All of our cats can be featured on our website, so anybody can go and see them there. Our cats can be found at petfinder.com as well. But everybody's welcome to come in the shelter and see them in person too.
Cat Guardians is located on 932 East St. Charles Road in Lombard. If you want more information, you can call them at 630-543-3395 or head over to www.catguardians.org. For Community Spotlight, I'm Chris Micah.
The Historical Society of Lombard preserves the past in a unique way by conserving a Victorian cottage built in 1882. We spoke to Sarah Reichart, the Society's volunteer coordinator.
We're here at the Lombard Historical Society's Victorian Cottage Museum. Take a trip back into time and shed a little bit of light on the history of Lombard, Illinois.
The Historical Society started long before I got here, so they were started in 1972. There was issues with buildings not being preserved, and there was no accountability to who's taking care of the history of the town. So the Historical Society came about as a part of a need for that, and so they started actually a couple years earlier, and then in 72 they purchased this house that we're in now as a representation of what Lombard was when Lombard became Lombard. The house that we're in now was built in 1882. It was built by a man named Newell Matson, who is a silversmith. And this was built as an income property for him. He had 5 houses in town, and this was an upper middle class home. We have hundreds of volunteers. We have probably 30 active volunteers who are very, very active. We have a full board that oversees everything, and then we have 3 paid employees presently. And we'll soon have 4 paid employees. The room we're sitting in presently is the front parlor. The front parlor was made purely to receive guests. It was not made to sit around and hang out on a Sunday afternoon. Unless you had guests here, you weren't in this room. Children were not allowed in this room unless they were entertaining. If they were playing the melodeon or the violin or something like that, they would be allowed in here, reading poetry, something like that. Something very Victorian and very proper they would be doing. The house was heated with coal at the time. Some wood, mainly coal. There was a fireplace, 2 standing stoves, and then the kitchen stove were all heat sources. The molding was very intricate, the stairway very intricate, definitely in the gingerbread style of a Victorian house. The wallpaper was all done to recreate what was in here originally, and much are the furnishings also. We also have things such as hair art, which was popular at the time, made from human hair. A little creepy, but definitely of the time. We also have things made of wax, and the Victorian women had much more time. They weren't pioneers anymore. They had more time to take care of things and do artistic programs, so they did things like that. The second room downstairs would be the back parlor. The back parlor was not the dining room, it was the back parlor. It was made for dining, of course. Also, children would play back there. They would play with tea sets, basically to learn etiquette, but it was also a game to them. They would also play with other toys back there. The bill paying would happen back there, and basically more of the household living happened in the back parlor. More of our family room type that we have today. The third room downstairs is the kitchen, which of course had no running water, had just the dry sink and the coal stove. That's where most everything happened. There was no bathroom in the house, so the bathing happened in that room as well. The upstairs was the 3 bedrooms. Master bedroom, of course, which was furnished with William Hammerschmidt's, with his furnishings donated to the society. William Hammerschmidt was made bricks in the town. He also owned a lumber company, large businessman in town, and that was donated to the family. It's lovely pine furniture, but it's painted to look inlaid, so it's just a very, very nice set, and it's a complete set, which is unusual. So they would do a lot of their cleaning up upstairs, so they had the commode stand up there for their brushing their teeth. It was a new Victorian thing to start brushing teeth and actually starting to take care of themselves. That was not before that time. It wasn't happening nearly as much. There's so many ways to get involved depending on different interests, of giving tours, spreading local histories, going out with us to talk to different school groups. We have many volunteers that go to schools with us and talk about different historical events that happened in the world or in the town at the time. There's many bookkeeping issues that just have to be done, program planning, program events. There's many things, and all they have to do is call this society and call me and we can place people where they want to be. LombardHistory@att.net, and our website is lombardhistory.org.
Coming up after the break, fire and weaponry. Stay tuned.